Hello friends, I'm already here. I'm going to wait until 4 exactly to start the live video, but if you're here, I'm glad that you are, and yeah, we'll start soon. So if you are here, I'll show you. I have started by wanting to show you how I prepare my denim and how I deconstruct the garment by taking out all the stitches. This way I get a bigger piece of material to work with. Right now I'm working on a kind of destroyed jet denim jacket that I got from a friend, and I don't know what I'm going to use it, but since this is a big job, I'm just preparing material for future work, and yeah, that's how I do it. It's good to have to listen to a book on tape or watch TV or anything that you can sit down and do for a while, because this is slow doing. And it's 4 o'clock, so here we are. We're going to start. Hello, everybody. My name is Mikal Rezzoni. I'm the author and illustrator of Miriam Jade New Clothes. It's a children's book about sustainable fashion, which I write because I care about sustainable fashion, but I'm also a fashion designer, and I'm focused on sustainable fashion and repurposing and mending textiles. I'm here in my studio today to share a bit of what goes into my work with you. Today I'm going to demonstrate how I mend and patch denim using a style inspired by a traditional Japanese technique called shishiko. I have to say that I basically know nothing about traditional shishiko work, and the way I learn how to do it is just by watching and looking at stuff that was done. It's basically using a running stitch. I'm sure that shishiko aficionados will scoff on that work, but I think that it looks really good, and it helped me mend things that need mending. There are pieces of denim that I find so beautiful, even if they are torn like that, and I just want to include them in my work, and that's give me a way to do it. Let's talk a little bit about how I start my work, because I find it important to this video. I'm using the very slow method of taking out all the stitches with my friendly stitch ripper. And I do that for 2 reasons. One is, if you don't cut the seam allowance, you get 2 more inches on each side of the seam. And not only it's important to have that, but it's also important to for the look that I like. I like when things have the impression of what they used to be. And so I incorporate that in my work. And let's talk a little bit about how I do that. So I start with a piece of denim. This is actually, it used to be my shorts. They have a big hole. And I start by cutting all the material that's not repairable out. And I love the organic shape of the tear. So you can see here, it's have the shape as it was. Sometimes those are made on purpose by the clothes manufacturer, but for my purpose, I don't like them. So first of all, I remove all the extra material with a sharp pair of scissors. And when you do those kind of jobs, it's best to have good tools, sharp scissors, sharp needles. It makes your work so much easier and look nicer in the end. So once I remove the excess material, like that, and of course you're welcome, you can do whatever you want. You can do hearts or flowers or whatever. But it gives me a hole, like that. And then I'm going to patch it with red like I did on this dress. And you can see the back also have a beautiful repair. I just did not have enough to do the seam allowance, so I incorporate an extra piece. So I have this little piece of fabric. Both fabrics are, of course, the right way because that's what's going to show. I put them together like that. You want to have the piece underneath large enough so it will support the entire patch. At this point, you need to put them together so you can work on it. So the easiest way when you have a small patch is to just take thread, cotton thread, and stitch them together. Or of course you can go to your trusted sewing machine and just run a really large stitch that of course you are going to then take out. Let's talk a little bit about the material that we are using. So for this purpose, I'm using embroidery 100% cotton thread. It is thicker than usual sewing thread. This will give you a lot of trouble. Even if you double or triple it, it would create knots and stuff like that. So you want to use this thread. The shishiko thread, the traditional one, it's also cotton. It's really beautiful thread. It's even thicker. It's a little too thick for me, but again, it's a preference. I do use shishiko traditional needles. They are bigger, they are longer, and they are sharper. And I find that if you do work with denim, it is really important. So once we did that, and we attached it to the area that you want patching, you start using this type of stitch, which I'll show you in a minute how to do. Even though I have embroidered my entire life, I'm not very schooled in the name of stitches. So I don't know what the name of that stitch is. If anybody know, please let me know. It will be nice to know. Big needle, thick thread, just thread it through. And if you are like me, losing your eyesight and dexterity, you can use one of those trusted threaders. Maybe, maybe not. And yes, here we go. Just run it through. And in my mind, I call this stitch a fence stitch because it's kind of look like a fence and it does fulfill the function of the fence. So I just start by anywhere, by just pulling it through, and then about 1/8 of an inch into both layers and come out into the patch layer, in our case the red. And this creates a border. So that is how you get a clean edge. And I do tend to do them about 1/4 inch in length and 1/4 inch in width because it works for me. But of course, everybody is welcome to do what they want. It's have no extra rules. And so I go around and around until I created the whole parameter of the hole, just like that. And then if you want, you basically can leave it like that and just secure the edges of the cloth behind. I like to add the running stitch because it will create a much stronger bond. And I think it looked pretty and special. So, and that's what is a bit like Shishiko stitch. And again, I'm using that name really, really loosely. Please don't be mad at me if you don't think that that's what it is. But it's really easy to do. You just go with a running stitch, which I try to regulate it and make it again about 1/8 of an inch. But I think the beauty of it is really the irregular handmade type of work. So as I'm going to complete one line, let's just mention a little bit the pop-up dress, which this is my rendition of it, and it's inspired by the pop-up dress by Claire McCardle. And if you don't know who she is, she was an American fashion designer that worked in the 40s and the 50s in the United States. And as you know, in the 40s and the 50s, most fashion came to the United States from Paris. And really the time of haute couture, think about Dior and alike designers. And Claire McCardle was, she's sometimes considered by some the mother of American sportswear. And we are not necessarily talking about what you wear to the tennis court, but more about practical wearable clothes for what she thought was real women, real sizes, and not so tailored. She developed this dress, the pop-up dress. It would come in a flat box. It would just pop up, but it fits a lot of sizes, and it's very easy to wear. You can see it's a wrap dress, and you know, in my photo that I put on Facebook, it's my daughter Maya that wears it, and in here it's a much bigger lady, and I wear it myself. It fits me just fine, and it's really easy wearing. So she was really ahead of her time. Sadly, she died really early. She died in her 50s from breast cancer. And so She's a little forgotten, but if you don't know who she is and you love fashion, go check it out. And now I got to the end of that row of stitches, and what I do is I just cross them. So I go into a little far from the middle, and just like as if you drew a cross, you go in and out in the next stitch, and in and out. So it is a creative way to fix cloth. If you're like me, I believe that we really have to conserve and maybe not use so much fast fashion and disposable, what's became almost disposable cloth. I think that we should, in order to pollute less and save the planet from pollution, air pollution and water pollution, we should mend our clothes and wear them longer. And I think that when you do stuff like that, not only you get clothes that are creative and unique, but they also tell a story, and they have an immediate worn feeling, like my shirt here that I made out of recycled jeans. I think it's whimsy, tells a story, it's nobody else have it, so why not do it? This beautiful dress come with oven mitt. That's how Mikado sold it, with an oven mitt, so you can go from your kitchen to talk with your guests at dinner time. And in that case, it was a very unique way of coming up with clothes that are special, beautiful, tells a story. And in our case here, also mend and make new stuff from the beautiful material that we have. We are close to the end of our meeting, but if anybody have a question, you can ask me. You know where to find me on Facebook, so you can ask me there. And if you know what the name of that stitch is, you let me know. And it's so nice to see you. I see Melissa is here. Hi, Melissa. Hi. And I will have some more videos for you soon. Bye.